It is my pleasure at this time to introduce Assemblyman Michael Norris. Assemblyman Michael Norris was elected to the New York State Assembly on November 8, 2016. His district includes parts of Niagara, Erie, and Orleans County. Assemblyman Norris received his Bachelor's of Arts degree from Niagara University and his Juris Doctorate from Albany Law School. He was admitted to the New York State Bar in 2006. He has served as the attorney for the town of Lockport, town of Somerset, and village of Casadaga, the third corporation counsel for the city of Lockport, and the prosecutor for the towns of Lockport and Hartland. Assemblyman Norris is a member of the Lockport, Niagara County, Erie County, and New York State Bar Associations. He has also worked for the New York State Senate and Assembly, served as Niagara County Election Commissioner, and interned in the city of Lockport Mayor's office. Assemblyman Norris is a lifelong Lockport resident and a graduate of Lockport High School. Please welcome Assemblyman Michael Norris.
Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to be here this evening and to just say that I am with you, and I have been with you from the beginning on this massive destruction that's occurred along the southern shore of Lake Ontario. I am very proud to represent the 4 towns along the southern shore of Lake Ontario here in Niagara County, the towns of Porter, Wilson, Newfane, and Somerset. And you can tell from my biography, don't lie, I'm only 41, but that experience by working with local officials and even being in the private sector, I know being an attorney, and the Attorney General's office spoke about making sure everything is in order with your contracts. That is very sound advice. And I encourage you to follow the advice of the Attorney General's office, and I'm glad that he was here today to explain that. But I've had the pleasure to work with many town supervisors and many elected officials in my career. And I would like to just say that my predecessor, Jane Corwin, was one of the members who spoke up in 2014, wrote a letter to the Secretary, John Kerry, of State at the time, and opposed Plan 2014. They were aware, they knew, they were aware of the risks that were involved with the Plan 2014, and they still implemented the plan, and this year it caused great destruction along the southern shore. This is my first year in office. I went out in April with Dave Godfrey, with the chairman of the legislature, with Senator Ort, and we sounded the alarm right away with this state of emergency. However, at that point in time, though we were ahead of the curve of other counties, some other counties, Orleans County is also here, Lynn Johnson, it was too late. It was too late because of Plan 2014. And I must say, I strongly disagree with the spokesman from the IJC when he says this is due to rainfall, because there was 37 inches at the highest point of the average point at that point in time, and I think there was only 9 inches of rainfall. That's at least more than 2 feet above, and that was, in my opinion, and the opinion of many experts, the cause of this plan. Now, unfortunately, the destruction has occurred. The State Senate, the State Assembly has worked very hard to put together a lake relief package. I was pleased to work on that. We may need additional resources, and I can tell you, I will be one, along with Senator Ort, to support additional funding from the state when required. But what we need now is for all of you to stay united and to help us fight with you in this cause. We need you to reach out and send those emails, to send those letters, to send that correspondence to President Trump. I did. In May 17th, I wrote him a letter. I asked him to please replace the IJC commissioners. I ask you to go home tonight and to write the White House and tell the president we need those commissioners replaced, and we need the voices, the property owners, the marina owners, the business owners along the southern shore of Lake Ontario to be heard. I still think they take mail there. So send a note, because it's very, very important that your voices are heard. Now, I will also just like to commend Congressman Chris Counts. The Congressman has been working on this from at least 2014. I know this. He opposed it from the beginning. He is using all his political clout, all his information to lobby the White House to make that change. I can assure you he is doing that. I can assure you that the partnership with Senator Orr and myself, we're pushing. But we need your help as well, and please do that. I would just like to also say that if you have not applied for the emergency DEC permit along the shoreline, I encourage you to do so, and do so relatively quickly. I know many of you probably have, but those permits that are being issued are being turned around relatively quickly. The Senator and I both asked Governor Cuomo and the DEC Commissioner to expedite those permits earlier this year, and they did that. Many folks received a response within 24 hours, and if not within a week. So if you have not done so, please get the emergency permit application in. I understand most of them, if not all of them, are good until April of 2019. And this is a good time for you to do it, because those permits, from speaking with other shore owners, could take years before. So please work on that. The Senator mentioned that the deadline is coming near the end for the funding. It's my understanding that September 29th at 4 p.m. is the last day for you to submit your application for funding. So please please file that application and get on that, and do that in a relatively quick period of time. And I would just also like to acknowledge the county supervisors. We have our county legislators here who have worked very hard on this. Our county sheriff, Jim Votour, has been sounding along from the beginning, as well as Jonathan Schultz from the Niagara County Director of Emergency Services. Jonathan was there from the beginning, has continued to work hard. He deserves a round of applause. And also, I want to just acknowledge, and I had written this part down because it is so important to me, and the Senator mentioned it, but I want to also acknowledge the National Guard, the volunteer fire companies, the highway crews, and all of our local officials. It didn't matter if it was 3 p.m. or 3 a.m. They were there with their folks, with their standby, and made it to a great place. I wish there was more I could do to praise them, to be honest with you. I was amazed when I toured the shoreline, when I was up in Orchid and I saw the work, and it was constant, and they were there, and it's all volunteer. They deserve a great round of applause for that, and I thank you for acknowledging them because they were there. So, please know this. I could go on for a long time. I have been with you. I will continue to be with you. I want you to please write President Trump. Let him know we need those IJC commissioners replaced, and we need Plan 2014 repealed. Thank you very much.